With the director of anything at UNLV Hockey, Arturo Castro. Arturo, welcome to the show. And
thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this big week you guys have had here at UNLV.
You know, it's a huge week for us. NAU at number 3 and us at number 2/1. And we'll figure out Wilson State at some point. But for us, it's a huge week. This is for us to really realize where we're at nationally and whether we've outgrown the West or not.
Right. Tell me a little bit about the program itself, what you've seen it grow into already in just a couple of years that you guys have been at the helm and really taken over and made things go. What are the steps and what's the process been like?
So, personally, it's been crazy. I mean, I've played on this program. I've been at the bottom and I've been at the top. So for me, witnessing what's going on right now, this is it's untrue. It's until it happens and until we start playing Division I club hockey. We're still getting there, and we're still at D2, and we're gonna try to get a national championship.
I know you guys have taken an awful lot of experiences away from what's happened down at ASU with the ties that Z has down there and things. So tell me how important their success and the road that they've taken, the path they've taken, has been for you guys.
For sure. I mean, Z Con, the relationship he's had with Greg Powers down south, that relationship between him and Greg has been tremendous. Without that, we would have no model to really go off of.
Right.
And he just walked in, but I promise you, I'm not talking good just because he's here. But
he left now, so go ahead.
He left now. All right. No, but without that relationship, we would have a little bit of a tougher time getting to where we are at now, for sure.
I'm sure you guys have had thousands of questions about what's the difference between ACHA D2 and D1, but in your words, what's the difference between those two levels of hockey?
I think the difference is you have kids that are going D1, D3 in NCAA and that have partial scholarships, I would say.
Right.
That can and I hate to say it this way, but that can kind of go off of the NCAA rules.
Right.
Or that can really experience college the way it should be experienced in a way.
Yeah.
Without being punished, I would say. And I hate to say, like I say, I hate to say it this way, but you really give kids an option to really be the foundation of what we're building here and really build from the ground up and be the real change and be, like I said, be the foundation of what we're trying to do and accomplish, which is NCAA Division I.
Let's talk about that foundation that you're laying right now and the work behind the scenes. First, obviously, fundraising, I'm sure, is ridiculous because it costs money to play the sport. It's not,
of course,
it's not free. The travel, everything else that's involved in it, and the higher you go, the more expensive it gets, unfortunately. So, what's it been like? What's the response been like in the Vegas community?
You know, it hasn't been until the late success that we've had.
Right.
We've had some previous donors and previous sponsors that have been heavily involved, but it hasn't been until late that with the NHL coming in and everything that's going around our club and our team, that people around the town are really, taking a look and paying attention to what we're doing. They'd rather get in from the ground up than to down the road have to pay big money to really be a part of this.
So as you look at the whole Desert Southwest and you see what's happened now with the Golden Knights coming in here, and you look at the Tucson Roadrunners, for example, down in Tucson, and you see the growth of an NCAA program at ASU. 4 years ago, could you imagine that would ever be reality?
So I tell you what, 4 years ago I said this. I said, we're going to take this team NCAA Division I, and everybody laughed at me.
Right.
We're on the path.
Absolutely. So on that path, now we hopefully a national championship, or at least a good shot at it this year at the D2 level.
Absolutely.
D1 next year. How long do you stay in D1 before you try to make a reality of an NCAA program?
I think it would be more of a fiscal thing,
right.
But for now it's more of success on ice and making sure that the growth of the sport really comes out west, and especially in Las Vegas, and to really make sure that Las Vegas knows, and especially UNLV knows, that we're here and that we mean business.
It really comes down to stability, doesn't it? You need to be
sure.
stable, and people need to be able to know that you're here day in and day out. And I'm guessing that's a big part of your job as well, is creating that stability.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of marketing goes behind the scenes into this, and a lot of community support that we try to reach, whether it's community service or community outreach, that really goes into this program.
I'm going to throw something at you from the professional standpoint, but you look at two different programs. You got the Coyotes down in Phoenix. Now you got the Golden Knights up here, and the Golden Knights seem to be golden. I mean, everything they do seems to be going. The facility's getting built right away. They got a first-class arena to go into. They got, I think, maybe the best owner in the NHL. You probably have one of the best GMs in the NHL.
For sure.
And then you look down in Phoenix. They've been around for 20 years now, and they struggled with getting the right ownership group for a while. They struggled with getting, the facility to play in. They're still looking for another facility. So how much does that mean in program to have somebody that, again, we'll use that word stability, is stable?
So that's a tough question to answer there. It's one of those that I would probably have to skip a comment on. But what it really comes down to is right now Vegas is a very new market to hockey. Hockey is a very new market to Vegas. And people are really looking forward to a professional sports team.
Right.
With Phoenix, you've had the Suns, you've had the Cardinals, and I think that's what is going to make Vegas successful for the time being.
Right.
Especially being Vegas. You know? So from my standpoint, I think what Bill Foley, Murray Craven, George McPhee, and the whole group behind them are doing is a very creative yet successful thing that's going to take a couple years, but they're on the right track.
Well, a couple things too. They're building that awesome practice facility, which I know you guys are lucky enough to be a part of.
Absolutely.
How important is that to building your program, to be able to bring guys, take them on a tour of that facility when it's ready, show them where their locker room is, how close they are to the NHL, figuratively and literally, right?
I mean, pretty much practicing at the same facility as the NHL team is just tremendous, right?
Right.
So once it gets down to it and the facility is built, recruiting is going to be, I don't want to say easier, but it's gonna definitely facilitate our efforts when it comes down to recruiting kids that are used to tier 1 facilities or top end facilities that can really do something for our program. Right.
And that's important. And we got to have those guys in here to again create a stability that you can build on.
Absolutely.
All right, Arturo, I appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the way. Good luck bringing this program up to the NCAA level.
Thank you again, Scott. Thank you for everything you do.